I'm sharing one of my favorite bread recipes today. This is cheese bread, and it's really reminiscent of like a sourdough, but it doesn't require any sourdough starter. So to begin with, I'll make some white bread dough. I'll start with 2 teaspoons of dry yeast, half of a teaspoon of honey, and 1 1/4 of a cup of hot water. I'll use my spatula just to mix that around really quick. And then I'll let it sit for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I want it to get really frothy. Now that my yeast is nice and frothy, I know that it's well activated. So at this point, I'll add 3½ cups of white flour and 1½ teaspoons of salt. Now I'll mix my dough on low for 4 minutes. So now it's all mixed together, but it's a pretty dense dough at this point. If I was doing it by hand, I would just continue to knead it for another 8 to 10 minutes. But since I have the mixer with the dough hook, I'll place it in, but I'll increase the speed to medium and I'll mix it for 6 more minutes. And what this is doing is it's kind of stretching out those glutens and getting it so that it'll be a nice textured dough. After that 6 minutes, you can just feel how much nicer this dough is. So at this point, this is a very basic white bread dough. And I mean, you could actually just make it into a loaf, but that's not what we're going to do with it. I'm going to place it in a bowl, and I'll place a damp towel over the top of it. And then you don't really have to do this, but I do an additional one over the top. This just makes it so it stays a little bit warmer in there, because what I'm gonna do is put this in a warm place, generally speaking like 75 degrees or warmer, and I'll let it sit for 24 hours. What I'm doing at this point is I'm getting it to ferment, and this will be our starter, kind of like a sourdough starter, and it kind of has a little bit of that tangy taste, but it's different. I don't know, I think it's really good. This has been a super fun recipe to play with. So I'll put this away for 24 hours and then I'll come back to it and it'll be my fermented dough. So in the interest of this video, I actually already made some dough, and this is all I'll need. So that batch that I just made will do multiple batches of this. And all I need is 60 grams, which is somewhere around 2.1 ounces or just shy of 1/4 of a cup of dough. So I'll place that in my mixer, and half a teaspoon of yeast, half a teaspoon of honey. If you didn't have honey, you could substitute just a little bit of sugar, probably about half a teaspoon of that as well, and 3/4 of a cup of warm water. And I'll let that yeast activate for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. With my yeast activated, I'll add 1 2/3 cup of white flour, 1/4 of a cup of rice flour. Now you can buy rice flour at the store, or if you have a wheat grinder, you can just send the rice through and make your own. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. Now I'll mix it together on a low speed for 4 minutes. Now again, you can see looking at it that it's a really kind of a dense, lumpy dough at this point, but I'm not done. I'll put it back in the mixer on medium speed and do another 6 minutes. And again, that's what stretches those glutens out. And now the dough, of course, has a lovely texture, but I still need to add the cheese. So at this point, I'll dice my cheese up small. I don't want it to be tiny, but not so big that it'll be a huge chunk in the dough. This cheese is a little bit dry anyway, which is one of the reasons I'm using it for this, but you can do any kind of cheese. I've found that this is a great recipe for any of my cheeses that are a little bit more sharp. It tastes really good, and my kids don't tend to like the sharp cheeses that I make as much. So if I can hide them in the dough and then they like them, I think that's great. Now I'll add my 2/3 a cup of cheese in with my dough, and I'll mix it on low until it's combined. Now that my cheese chunks are incorporated into my dough, I'll let it rise for 1 hour. Now I'll take my dough out of the bowl. It's risen well, and so it's nice and soft, and I'll cut it into 3 equal pieces. Some people will actually measure out their loaves to make sure that they're exactly the same, but for me, it doesn't really matter that much. Now what I need to do is put these into a ball shape. The way that I do that is I kind of cup them down, so I put pressure on the top and cup down and push and almost make like a stalk, like I'm making a mushroom or something. And as I go around doing it like that, it slowly takes on a nice rounded shape until I have my little ball, and I'll set that off to the side, and then I'll do the next ones. It's actually a little bit weird to only do 3 loaves. A lot of times I do a multiple batch, and I'll do like 18 of these at a time. So that fermented dough will actually do 13 different batches of these. And what I do is I take what I need and then I refrigerate the rest. And I usually use it within a week or 2, and it's been good. Now I'll cover these dough balls and I'll allow it to rest for 30 minutes. Now that they've had time to rise, I'll go ahead and shape them. And you can see that they are slightly different sizes, particularly that center one. It's a little bit bigger, but not a big deal for me. So what I do is I turn them upside down and then I press a line in the center. And then from the center, I work out to the edge. And then I'll take and fold it up kind of like a taco and seal the seam. And now it's a little bit squished on top because of how I have to do that. And so I just kind of roll it some. You can see like where there's a big chunk of cheese, not a big deal. And then I'll place this on my baking sheet that has a silicone mat, or I could use parchment paper instead. And I'll move on to my next one. Press from the center out to the edge, fold it up like a taco, pinch the seal, and kind of do a little roll just to get rid of a little bit of that flatness on the top. And then I place it seam side down on my baking sheet. The crazy thing about this is it doesn't really have to look perfect. As it rises, it'll look really good in the long run. And now I'll cover it and allow those to rest for 1 hour. I still have 20 more minutes of rise time, so at this point, I'll put a tray of water in the top of my oven, and then I'll set my oven for 450 degrees. My next step is to slice the top of my loaves, and I do that with a sharp bread knife, and I just cut it diagonally, somewhat shallowly, probably about 1/2 inch or so. So now that my bread is ready, I have one more step to prepare my oven. Now when you open your oven, remember it's very hot. Don't have your face right in the way because 450 degrees doesn't feel real comfortable when it hits you. So before I put my bread in, I'll sprinkle just a little bit of water on the very bottom, and then I place in my bread. Now I'll let that bake for 25 minutes. At that point, I just start to check it to make sure it's the right color. Everybody's oven's a little bit different, and the amount of water you put in there can be different. The water is really what makes it so that you can have it in there at such a high temperature for such a long time without it burning. All right, so mine got done just a little bit faster today, probably because I had less in there. Usually I have more on a tray, but mine took just about 23 minutes to get to this point. And you can see that they're nice and golden brown on the top. They'll have the little flecks of cheese that tend to be just a little bit darker brown, and it smells so good as it's cooking. I want to cut into one of these so that I can taste test it. One of the nice things about this bread is you can change up the cheese that you're doing for it all the time, and just by changing the cheese, it completely changes the signature flavor of it. Okay, so as you can see, it has a nice crispy crust. It's got the little chunks of cheese and a really soft, nice center. They say that bread is really best to be eaten once it's cold because that's when it has more of the flavor that will come out, but I don't know if I believe it. I love fresh bread so much. Oh, it's so good. I just wish I could share it. So that really crispy outside, the kind of crunchy cheese bits that are near the edges, and then you get to that center and it's so light and fluffy. I mean, just delicious. I want to show you one of the things that I actually like about the way that this bread is cut, and that's that you can actually just kind of go in between each of those slices, and it gives you the individual slices. Sometimes I will actually just kind of pull it apart. It just kind of depends on what's going on. A lot of times my kids actually will slice it this way and they'll make like a cheese sandwich on it. It makes for a pretty sturdy sandwich, but I have twin 14-year-old boys as well as some other ones, but they particularly love to have a really nice, big, hearty sandwich, and this cheese bread is just a great way to do it.